Imagine this. You're one of the first English settlers in a brand new world. Full of hope, you land on a remote island off the coast of what will one day be North Carolina. You build homes, you start families, you dream of a prosperous future. Then, you vanish. Every man, woman, and child. Gone without a trace. This isn't a Hollywood movie plot. This is the true story of the Lost Colony of Roanoke, America's oldest and most haunting unsolved mystery. In 1587, a group of over 100 English colonists, led by Governor John White, established a settlement on Roanoke Island. This was a brave, bold endeavor, a leap of faith into the unknown. They were pioneers, carving out a new life from the wilderness, thousands of miles from home. Among them was Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. Her birth was a symbol of hope, a promise of a new beginning. But that promise would soon be shrouded in an enigma that has baffled historians and archaeologists for over 400 years. Life on Roanoke Island was far from the paradise the settlers might have envisioned. The soil was sandy and difficult to farm. They faced unfamiliar weather patterns, struggled to find reliable food sources, and their relationship with the local Native American tribes was, at best, tense and unpredictable. Supplies from England were crucial for their survival. With resources dwindling, Governor John White made the difficult decision to sail back to England to gather more provisions and reinforcements. He left behind his daughter, his granddaughter Virginia, and the entire colony, promising to return as quickly as possible. He couldn't have known it would be 3 long years before he saw Roanoke Island again. When he finally set foot back on its shores in 1590, the sight that greeted him was eerie and chilling. The settlement was gone. The houses had been carefully dismantled, not violently destroyed. There were no bodies, no skeletons, no signs of a battle or a struggle. It was as if the entire community had simply packed up and vanished into thin air. The only clue left behind was a single, cryptic word carved into a wooden post of the fort, Croatoan. Nearby, the letters Crow were found carved into a tree. What did it mean? Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, now known as Hatteras Island, and also the name of the Native American tribe that inhabited it. Before he left, White had instructed the colonists that if they had to move, they should carve their destination into a tree. He also told them that if they were in distress, they should carve a Maltese cross above the name. There was no cross. This suggested the move might have been planned and peaceful. Did they willingly leave to join the Croatoan people? This is where the mystery deepens and the theories begin to multiply. For centuries, people have tried to piece together what happened. The most straightforward theory is that the settlers, facing starvation and hardship, moved to Croatoan Island to live with the friendly tribe there. Perhaps they assimilated, intermarrying and gradually losing their English identity over generations. This seems plausible, especially given the lack of any sign of violence at the abandoned settlement. Archaeological evidence has offered tantalizing hints that support this idea. On Hatteras Island, archaeologists have uncovered English pottery shards and other European artifacts from the late 16th century, mixed in with Native American artifacts. Could these be the last remnants of the Roanoke colonists, physical proof that they integrated into the Croatoan community? Some accounts from later explorers in the 17th and 18th centuries mention encounters with Native Americans who had gray eyes and lighter hair, and who claimed their ancestors were white people. Could these be the descendants of the lost colony? But other, darker theories persist. One possibility is that the colonists were attacked and wiped out by a hostile tribe. Relations between the English and some local tribes were strained. It's conceivable that a raid could have happened, but it doesn't quite explain the scene John White discovered. Why would attackers bother to carefully dismantle the houses? And where were the bodies? A massacre would have surely left some trace of the violence. Another theory points to disease. The unfamiliar environment could have exposed the settlers to deadly new illnesses for which they had no immunity. A devastating epidemic could have swept through the colony, killing them off one by one. But again, this doesn't fully explain the complete absence of remains or the orderly state of the abandoned site. And then there are the more desperate possibilities. Perhaps the colonists, facing starvation, attempted to sail back to England on their own in a small boat called a pinnace left with them. It would have been a perilous, almost suicidal journey across the Atlantic, and they likely would have been lost at sea to a storm. This would explain why no trace of them was ever found on land, but it's a grim scenario to consider. Over the years, the mystery has only grown, attracting scholars, amateur detectives, and treasure hunters, all hoping to be the one to finally solve the puzzle. More recent archaeological digs have shifted focus from Roanoke Island itself to inland sites on the mainland, following the clue that the crow carving might have been an unfinished message pointing to a different location. At a place called Site X, about 50 miles inland, archaeologists have found more English pottery that seems to date to the right period. This has led to a new theory. Perhaps the colony split up. Maybe one group went to Croatoan Island, while another, smaller group tried to establish a new settlement further inland. This theory is compelling because it accounts for different pieces of evidence. The inland group might have eventually been absorbed by a local tribe like the Tuscarora, while the Hatteras Island group merged with the Croatoan. It suggests the fate of the lost colony wasn't a single event, but a complex story of survival, dispersal, and assimilation. The settlers didn't just vanish, they scattered, their stories becoming woven into the fabric of the Native American communities they joined. Yet, despite all the clues, theories, and scientific investigations, there is no definitive answer. No smoking gun artifact, no letter, no grave has ever been found that says, "This is what happened to us." The story remains incomplete, a historical ghost that haunts the Outer Banks of North Carolina. The word Croatoan echoes through history, a tantalizing whisper from the past. Was it a destination, a warning, a name? We may never know for sure. The Lost Colony of Roanoke, a powerful reminder that history is not just a collection of facts, but also a tapestry of mysteries. It's a story about hope, hardship, and the enduring power of the unknown. It forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge and to wonder about the fates of those who came before us. What do you think happened to the more than 100 men, women, and children of Roanoke? Did they find a new home with the Croatoan people? Were they lost to disease or conflict, or did they attempt a desperate voyage home? The debate is as alive today as it was centuries ago. Drop your own theories in the comments below. Let's discuss this together. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed diving into historical mysteries like this one, make sure to subscribe for more.